everybody, how we doing? Welcome back to the roundup. Apologies, we've had a wee early season break. I was working and on a stag do, and I just needed a wee break for a couple of weeks. How you been, Dick?
All right, mate. It's just not acceptable, really, is it?
It's no really. I lack of commitment. I lack of drive. I like that. I like that we always do this as well. Like how you doing in it, as if we didn't just have that conversation before we come on.
Let's get this show on the road, my
Right.
boy.
So we'll start with the Scottish Cup. Bone S3, Darvo 0. I've got this on my phone, so I need to actually scroll through the results to see them.
Yeah.
Where are we? Dalkeith, Thistle 0, Clydebank 7, Dundonald, Bluebell 2, Cowan 3, Dunny-Pace 1, Cumnock 3, Formartine United 3, Threave Rovers 2, Lossiemouth 0, Beath 4, Pennycook 0, the Mighty Pollock 6, St Andrews United 1, Auchinleck Talbot 0, and that is us. So, mate, tell us about the game yesterday. How was it?
Very good, mate. Very good. First half an hour we were at, well, we took a wee 5-10 minutes to get going, man, but for about a 20-minute spell we were outstanding, and we blitzed Pennycook and went 4-0 up. Really good going forward. Looked a threat every time we get the ball. We looked as if we could hurt them, and we just once you went 4-0 up in it, PG, how many times you've been in that before? It's a bit flat when you come out the second half in it for
When
first
you know the
15,
game's done,
20
it's
minutes.
difficult.
Aye, they've got a wee jag and they've come out and they've done well and they've changed their shape and that as well, and then we just came to grips with it after the first 15 minutes, second half, dominated it, maybe not getting the goals we deserved at the time. Their goalies had a couple of saves and then we scored a couple of goals again towards the end of the game, but we're excellent, mate, and boys are doing really well, man. It's good environment now, know what I mean, with them.
A good run you're on. I think you said to me earlier it was 7 wins in a trot. That's
Aye,
a good
seven
start to the season.
Aye, 7 on the trot, mate, but we've still got the games that were disappointed with at the very start, but we've always maintained that it was a new group and it was always going to take that wee bit of time. But what the boys are doing now is they're gelling, man. It's a great atmosphere amongst them. They're getting on really well and they're getting to know each other a lot better. And obviously it always helps as well when you're winning games of football for that as well. So the group's coming together, and listen, we're no the finished article, and we're still not even at where we want to be, but can't deny that the form that we've been on of late has been very, very good and very impressive. Scoring goals for fun. Some of the players most of the players are on the top of their game now, do you know what I mean? But we'll have bumps in the road, but at the same time, we're doing well now, and we just need to keep it going, keep it consistent.
Continue. You talk about being 4-0 up at half time, and you know it's like it's hard to bring a sale out. I know exactly what it's like, mate. PG gets his first league title in the best part of 20 years last week.
Congrats, mate.
Mate, over 35's done Real Madrid. We've been a bit shaky last few games, couple of last minute winners and stuff to keep us in a league title run. Final game of the season, have to get the win. 3-0 up after 10 minutes. Game was done. It was beautiful. But enough of that old man football. Convincing wins for Clydebank and Beath, which I think were expected, but it's good to go away for both teams. Clean sheets, comfortable wins. Threave, unlucky for them, away up to Formartine, who are a good side. It's a hard one for them, but it's a good outing. Travelling that distance as well, that's a long way. One for me to touch on is Cowan, 2-0 down, get a 3-2 win. That was a really good win for them. And their season started to pick up. We spoke about it a couple of times. Once we beat them at the Drum, I said they weren't as bad as their results had shown. Tiff's starting to get it now. He's starting to pick up good results. They're moving up in the league. That's a good one in the Scottish Cup for him, another confidence builder.
Yeah. I think the results was a mixed bag for the teams in the West this week in the Scottish Cup. Every team away from home.
I know.
Unhealthy.
A lot of travelling as well.
Aye, not one home draw. Good for Clydebank, Al Graham off the mark, mate, for them as well, which was positive for them, and they've won 7-0. Great result for them away in Dalkeith and into the next round. And then, as you say, with the rest of them, Beef man are just doing what we were doing. It's actually like no surprise now with the level of consistency they're showing. They're showing that they're a right good side, and they'll be challenging in all fronts. Winning, brilliant, as you say. 2-0 down. It's just showing the shift in mentality in that dressing room and in the club they know, and the feel good factor that they've got, that they never say die attitude, and it's a brilliant result. And seen a couple of videos, high as a kite, supporters are delighted, and it's good for them because they've had a lot of disappointment in the last maybe season and a bit to have to endure, and they're getting that wee bit back, and fair play to them. They've stuck with their manager, and fair play to him as well. He's got his boys gone. He's obviously got a more settled team, and well done to them. It's a great result. We want to see our teams doing well in the Scottish Cup.
Definitely. Season, I know it's really early doors, but the season's gone from bad to worse for the Talbot, getting put out in a competition that they don't generally lose very often in. It's St Andrews, which obviously we don't know a great deal about the teams in the East, but it's no a result you'd have expected for the Talbot. I'm not being disrespectful to St Andrews because I don't know what they're like, but you'd expect the Talbot to do what the Talbot did in the Scottish Cup and go and get a win there. It's another hard one for them.
We don't listen. None of the teams in the west of Scotland realistically we're going to go and win. Are going to win the Scottish Cup. You know what I mean? But we want us all to go as far as possible because you look at it's Darvel done, and we certainly had good times at Clydebank. Look at the Drum as well; they had good ties as well and took scalps, and that's what we want to see. But at the same time, their fans will be disappointed, even the players, because see that wee bit of excitement with the draw of the day and things like that. Gives you something else to look forward to and switch you off for the league. But to be honest with you, the priorities Talbot is getting back to league business and starting to pick up points in the league, because with the results that went the weekend, Talbot have opened the league after 8 games, and that's unheard of. But as I've always maintained, do I think they're going to stay there? No, but at some point they're going to have to change their form, and I think that they will anyway. I've always said that, and I still think that they've got good players there, but that'll be a disappointing one for them, and I've seen that on social media. Their fans are disappointed with that, because that's always an exciting one, especially early years with the games that they've had as well, the prestige.
Well, touching on the second round draw, which was done today or yesterday for when you're listening to this. Second round for our teams: Beath are at home to Broomhill, Clydebank are away to Formartine, Kilwinning are at home to Cowdenbeath. That's a nice big kind of tie for them. Tough one to win, but a big one. Cumnock are at home to Turriff, and yourselves are at home to Gallagherdy. A game you've really got to be looking to win as well. So potentially, you could have a few teams in the third round of the Scottish Cup again. Our clubs they don't let us down when it comes to the Scottish Cup.
I think that all the opposition teams look at maybe teams in the west of Scotland and think, listen, that's a team we can go and beat as well. At the end of the day,
idiots. That's what they are. Idiots.
I know, mate. What results are showing is there's good teams in every level, and I think you need to be on your game to beat any team. And there's no as many easy ties now that you're getting through a couple of rounds, the prelim rounds and the first round. So you need to have to be on your game to get through the next round. But it's a good incentive, because obviously then the Championship and first League One clubs come into that third round draw as well. So, and you're only one away for the big boys coming in as well. So there's certainly winnable ties for teams at our level, but at the same time, cup ties can happen. Do you know what I mean? There'll be upsets, there'll be teams getting through that we didn't expect and stuff like that. So listen, that's still a good few weeks away, but the exciting thing is we've got teams in representing the west of Scotland.
We do indeed. Moving on to the Premier League: Benburb 3, Rob Roy 1, Gartcairn Nelson Caddocks 1, Glenafton 1, the Medda 2, Largs 3, Hurlford 1, Troon 1, Atherley 2. Yeah. Can I see that once I'm done? Right, go away. Honestly, I can't get any peace. So I was saying to you, I'm a single father. Honestly, she goes out for one day and just leaves me with two emotional terrorists. But back to the good stuff. Touching on a big result for me down the bottom end of the table: the Medda beating Glenafton 2-1. Martin Ferry, Des Roach, and Ailsa in at the Medda now. 2 wins in a row for them in there. That was a big one yesterday, beating Glenafton.
Aye, that's a right big one. I think that actually maybe the first game that they officially took charge. I know that they were
Ben
appointed.
Carson, you know.
I kind of think he held the fort, but they were still there. But great result for them. Do you know what I mean? Early on in the season, it's a great result, and for Martin and Des to get off the mark early is a brilliant result. And because Glenafton are no, they've got a new management in place as well. So for them, the importance of 3 points was massive. But for Medda to go away from home, win the game 2-1, Martin and Des, it's a great start for them because they've had the result at Broomhill in the Cup when they've won, kept a clean sheet, and then they've won in the league there. So it's a really good start for them, and they're a couple of good guys as well. Do you know what I mean? So wish them all the best. But it's a right good start, right solid 3 points, and it's the best way you want to start your spell as a manager because it can get the players on side very quickly.
It shows the quality in the league that looking at the Medda have moved above Glenafton into 14th place. Your bottom three are the Medda, Glenafton, and the Talbot. I mean, that's three huge clubs. Another big result for me would be Largs beating Hurlford 3-1. Hurlford, if they're having a really good start, have kind of dipped a touch, but Largs, a team we praise all the time, even though they're a mid-table team, we're always praising. They're such a difficult team to beat. Almost nobody ever takes a kind of nobody ever really gives them a doing. They're always really difficult, and it's another cracking 3 points for Arnie.
I don't see it as a shock as much because I
Yeah,
think especially when Largs are at home, they're a very very good side at home. And he won the game 3-1. We played Hurlford a few weeks ago as well, and they're a good side, and I still think that they're going to be in the top half of the table without a question there. Not mean, but same time, great result for Arnie's team. They churn them out, and I think they've got good players and a good team there. I'm impressed anytime I see Largs, and one thing for sure is they'll make it difficult for anybody to go there and take it for them because they're very good at home, and they've got players that can score goals. And you've got Will Shaw there scoring goals, and they're a good side, mate. They're a good side, and that's a good result for them.
Ben's keeping the very impressive start to the season up as well with a 3-1 win over Rob Roy, who have had a pretty solid start to the season themselves. St Cadoc's, Gartcairn, two newly promoted sides. St Cadoc's getting the win there. Gartcairn are fourth bottom, tied with the Medda and Cumnock on 7 points. And another good win for Athley. I think it's been a pretty solid start to the season for Athley as well, sitting on 10 points after 8 games.
Good result for Athletics who scored right at the very end to take the points, which is really big for them. And I totally agree with everything you've said on the other ones. I think Gartcairn will be disappointed by all accounts for what I've seen coming out of them with their social media and stuff, not to take at least a point or even more for the game against St Cadoc's. But what a 3 points that is for St Cadoc's, especially keeping a clean sheet. So no, it's been a good week, and the Bens are a good side, mate. They're not going to be anywhere near relegation in my opinion because they're poor. They've got boys that can score goals, and they've got a good mix where they can keep clean sheets as well. So Bens have done really well under Paul and the boys as well, and I think that they're a good side. And they're going to be another team that's hard for anybody to take anything because the one thing is they know they're panning for their manager and their club. So no, listen, eventful, good week. And it's not much change at the top really, but there were some big results in the other places. You know what I mean?
Yep. Moving on to Division 1. Blantyre 3, Petershill 3, Cambuslang 4, Shotts 4, the Borough 2, Neilson 0, Mabel 4, Whitlets 1, Renfrew 0, Drum 3, Glencairn 1, Ashfield 4, Thorneywood 2, St Roch's 2. This league shown up again as a very mixed bag. We've spoke about it. I think most people would agree this is probably the most difficult league in terms of quality, where everybody is very similar, barring maybe one or two teams. On the Drum, I was working yesterday, so I never saw it. But a good 3-0 win. That's 4 wins in the bounce for us in the league. Put us top of the table. Granted, only a point clear. It's still early days, a quarter of the way through the season. Or actually, more than that, nearly a third of the way through the season. But I feel like we're starting to tick a wee bit now. We're looking a bit better. The boys are finding their feet a bit more, because I thought we were a bit slow to start the season, but another good result, because I think Renfrew are better than their league position shows, but again, they need to start picking up points. One I want to touch on though, Blantyre 3, Petershill 3. I'm possibly wrong with the times of the scores, but Petershill down to 9 men, 3-1 down, 2 goals in injury time potentially for what I seen yesterday. Unbelievable desire for them to get a point in that, because they needed it. They've been slipping down the table a wee touch.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And if that's the case, mate, I don't know, mate.
I'm sure Darren Miller gets sent off late on at 3-1, and it was either just before the 90 they scored the second, definitely scored the third in injury time.
If that's the way the game's panned out, then that's a good point for them. And Blantyre will be disappointed then not to take the 3 points. But it sounds eventful, doesn't it? 3 each, 6 goals, sending offs, a lot. So no, it's value for money.
And you look at shots in Canvas slang, shots, if they'd won, would have been top of the league. They're kind of floating about there. No much getting said about them because other teams are maybe spending a bit more cash, or like Glencairn have been doing really well, but shots are still keeping themselves in that. But that's an impressive result for Canvas Lang, because they're sitting in the relegation zone. A much needed point for them. Shots will probably be looking at that as 2 points dropped.
Yeah, Shots are assembling a good side under John. Looking at our players or their team the other week here, and they're assembling a really good side, and they'll do well. And listen, it's well done to Canvas Lang, because they had a few obviously results of late that they'll not be too happy with, but that just shows the character that they've got, and they're going to have that character. They've got P Train, McKnight and Paul and that. They're not going to accept anything less, and that's a good point for Canvas Lang in the end as well.
2-2 with Thornywood and the Rock. Two teams who I think are decent teams, are hard-working teams. Probably both be disappointed with a point there, but Ashfield, great win against Glencairn, who were top of the league at the time, 4-1 after we beat them 5-1. They'd lost a week before, I think, after getting a couple of men sent off and they'd been suspended. It looks like that's them starting to get their players back. That's a great win for them. Borough 2-0 against Nielsen, but for me to finish this division off, a big mention to somebody we've not really spoken much about is Mabel, beating Whitlets 4-1. Mabel go into 4th place with a game in hand on the 3 teams above them. Win their game in hand, they go top of the league. So they're flying right under the radar.
Mabel are showing that they're handy and they can cause teams problems. Obviously, they've went to Johnstonborough and they've had a right good result and beat Johnstonborough. I think it was 4-1 down there.
Yep.
And then they've played against East Kilbride in the Cup, and by all accounts, they pushed East Kilbride all the way. I think East Kilbride were just too strong for them in the end, and ended up winning the game. It looked more comfortably than what it maybe was. But I think that Carlo's got a good side there, and if they can win their game in home, go top of the league, it would be a great achievement, because it's one of the teams that we probably didn't think would be up there and challenging, and maybe they'll be surprise package. It could maybe mount a wee challenge this season. Do
you ever remember Mabel being in the Premier League? I don't ever remember Mabel being a top flight team ever. If anybody watching it, fire into our comments and let us know the last time Mabel were in the top flight, if they were ever in the top flight, because I don't remember it in my kind of 20 year at this level. Second division, Ardrossan 3, Craigmark 2, Cali Locals 3, Bonnet 2, Cumbernauld 1, the Ants 1, Perthshire 1, Yoker 4, Lark Hall 2, 4-0, Muirkirk 3, Glasgow Uni 0. Ardrossan 3-2 against Craigmark. Craigmark no having a good season. I predicted them to be either winning the league or right up there, and they're really having a tough season, only a point away for relegation. Ardrossan won 8 out of 9. Played us last week, beat us. Granted, we had a very changed side. I think we made 5 or 6 changes, but Ardrossan impressed me. I actually thought Ardrossan were better than most of the teams I've seen in the first division. I thought Curra up top was cracking. I thought he was really good, held the ball in well, scored his goal. Ferris, he's a handful, got another goal. I thought they were quite tidy at the back as well. I thought they were a good side. First time I've seen them in a couple of years, and Ardrossan did impress me. I thought they were decent.
I think Freels is assembling a right good side there as well. As you say, that was a Friday night as well, so it sounded like a right good game. And but it kind of shows Craigmark, do you know what I mean? They're no maybe they've pushed them all the way, and I think they might have been leading the game at one point as well. So I think that what they're showing is they're better than in the relegation fight. Do you know what I mean? And I think that early bit of this early season that they'll come out of that and they'll push up the league. But sounds like a tough game for Ardrossan, but at the same time it's a very good result for them, and they would have enjoyed their weekend. We having the Saturday off as well, and knowing that they had the 3 points in the bag, and they've had a great start, and they have got right good firepower, mate, and that's what always gives them half a chance, because it doesn't matter how many goals opposition score, man. You'd fancy Ardrossan to score most weeks with that firepower and the strikers that they've got there. So, no, it's a good game, good result, mate.
Well, that's the thing. I've mentioned the two of them. Our PG and Dak legends, mate. Liam McGuinness, his age, still very good in the middle of the park, because we've got a good three in the middle, and he was very good that day. Chrissy Craig came on. Touch is still ridiculous, even though he's getting on a wee touch. He's still a quality football player. But another game up the top end of the table, Cumbernauld, trying to keep the pressure on Ardrossan, playing the Ants. The Ants getting a draw for them away from home. I know, obviously, people know I've got a soft spot for the Ants because I played there and I like a lot of the guys at the club. I'm so impressed with the run they're on. I mean, the fact that they're doing so, they've only lost one game out of 8. And Cumbernaulds a good side who are flying. That's a really good result for them. But I imagine Cumbernauld will probably be a bit disappointed not to go and take the 3 points at home.
Aye, but at the same time, as you're rightly saying, the Ants are on a right good run of form, and it's very difficult to take anything for a team where their confidence is so high and all that. And for Danny's team, that's a right good point for them, and they're showing that they're merely a match for everybody, and that's right impressive form for them. But at the same time, Cumbernauld will take their point, they'll dust themselves down and move on. They're not a million miles away from it either, and they're showing that they're going to be right up there as well. So aye, it sounds as if it was quite a even tussle, and a share of the spoils is there, and that they move on to the next game with both of them.
At the bottom of the table, an important win for Muirkirk moves them off the bottom. They're still in relegation, with Lark Hall getting a win as well. That's keeping them in safety with goal difference. But Muirkirk needed that 3-0 win in a relegation battle. There's no a lot else you can say. It's an impressive win, and it's what they needed.
No, delighted for them, because they've had a tough start to the season, and I know they've got a very young side there as well. So delighted for everybody at Muirkirk to get a result. And listen, that just might be the wee start and the wee boost that they needed. Just that wee belief that they can win games, and they might go and kick on from strength to strength now.
Yep. Third division, Greenock 2, Port Glasgow 0, Bellshill 4, Kello 1, Dorai 4, Coolscythe 1, Finnart 3, Irvine Vicks 2, Girvan 1, Glasgow United 2, Lesmahago 0, Lanark 1, Vela Leaving 1, Ardeer 4. Biggest shock in that league for me is the fact that there was only one goal in a Lesmahago game. I don't know what's happened there. It's an absolute oddity that there was only one goal. There's usually about 36.
Nice.
We'll start on the Friday night game, the big game in that league, Greenock against the Port. Sadly couldn't make it down, but Greenock 2-0 wins at Ravenscraig, puts the Port in a better position. They're sitting second bottom of the table. They're struggling just now, and pains me because obviously I love the Port and I want to see them do well. But that was a big win for Greenock to take themselves out the relegation zone and leapfrog Coolscythe and Port Glasgow.
Aye, local bragging rights in it as well. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about for Greenock, and the accounts that were and quite comfortable in the night as well. Disappointing for Port players as well, because especially in a derby, man, you want to give you a bit more than maybe what they gave on the night. But brilliant result for Gary and his team, as we say, local. But they've got the good thing is that probably with Gary, he's got a lot of boys that have played in that fixture before.
Yep.
So they knew what it was all about, so it wouldn't have phased them playing that. So it looked as if it was a decent crowd and stuff like that. And obviously Greenock have come out and tap, and listen, no better feeling than winning the derby.
Well, that's the thing. It's obviously a derby I played in quite a few times, and I was fortunate enough to play Cumnock Auchinleck derby. Granted,
Did you play or were you at the side?
no. For Cumnock, I did play in quite a few of them. Always lost, to be fair, always lost. And it's obviously that's the biggest derby at our level. When the two teams are doing well, but there's an intensity and I know people might laugh or might think less it because of the level the two teams are at, but genuinely playing in that game, I don't know if it was because I was a bigger part of the Port team than I was at Cumnock, but playing in the games were bigger for me than the Cumnock Auchinleck game. It maybe just meant more to me, but it means a lot down there. That's massive. It's a massive game down there. But moving on, Bells Hill 4-1 against Kello. Kello yet to pick up a point, lost all 8 games. Bells Hill no lost a single game yet, absolutely flying, and our mate Donny Wilson
Donny
at
boy.
67 years old scored again.
No bad for
Another
an old
crack
football
result.
player.
Glasgow United as well, keeping the pressure on. 2-1 win over Girvan. They're 5 points back because they had the deduction in their points, so they should have another 3 points. But the two of them going head to head just now.
Aye. Listen, as you say, great result, but I can't believe Donny and all.
Yeah,
Donny's still getting on a score sheet.
Mental. At
Go
700
to have been
years
a
old.
heater. Go to have been a heater, mate, because
Mate,
he's
a
horrendous.
big boulder noggin.
I was talking to him the other week, mate. I bumped into him. Said he changed you about a start or something as well.
I did. I got something
He's a
right.
message PG, but to be honest, he's got to be a heater because he's absolutely horrendous with a body feet.
I actually forgot I was. He told me I had to apologise for that, so I apologise.
Aye,
I
he says to
can't
me.
remember the stat I got wrong. It was actually because the league got it wrong on their website that I got it wrong. So I'm blaming.
He says you took a back seat, mate, but
I
I didn't.
did. I did. I ate some humble pie. Dorai beating Coolside 4-1. Coolside struggling a wee bit. Good team. Actually, I don't know if I've said to you. I don't know if
You
I've...
see, your mucker scored the hat trick.
Who?
Didn't know
Jamie.
that, did you?
I saw that. Saw that today. I meant to actually comment on that. Well done, Jamie.
Aye.
I'm so happy for you.
Maybe
Actually,
played him in the Scottish Junior Cup.
days.
Aye, in a couple of weeks, mate. Aye, Dalry, mate. Aye.
I like Dorai, so I hope he's beat them just because of Jamie. But cool side. Actually, I don't think I've said to you. I don't think we've done an episode since. I bumped into Bailey
Did you?
at Hamilton. We were playing Hamilton 18s, and because he coaches there, I bumped into him. First time I properly met him, even though I spoke to him a few times. Lovely guy, but they're having a bit of a tough season now.
Aye, was he
sitting
hitting
in
a
the
ready? Still
relegation
hitting
zone.
a ready with that episode I done, Stephen.
Mate, he mentioned it to me. He
I'll
mentioned
never
it.
get over that ever, mate, ever.
That was funny. It was funny. Irvin Vicks 3-2 they lost to Fanart. Great win for Brian and his team, but Irvin Vicks will be pretty disappointed with that because that's a couple of, I think it's 2 games in a row they've lost maybe, or 2 at the last 3.
Yeah.
And that's taken a wee bit of sting with them. They're granted they're still in a very good position to go up, but I think we thought, and a lot of people thought, that they'd have been challenging to win the league, so they'll be a bit disappointed with dropping some points.
Aye, he'll be disappointed with that. But Brian's assembling a good squad doing it for the Hearts, so he is. Aye, he's got some good players there, mate. And I think they'll have a good season, not mean. So, no, listen, it's disappointing for the Vicks, aye.
Moving on to the best league in the world, the 4th division, BSC 3, couldn't say that. Eglinton 2, East Kilbride 2, St Peters 1, Giffnock 6, Campbelltown 0, Glenvale 0, Rossvale 3, Lugar 2, Carluke 2, Newmains 0, Knightswood 2, Saltcoats 2, Thorn 6, Easterhouse 7, Royal Albert 0. I suppose we'll start with Rossvale. Glenvale, we've championed them this season. Had a great season so far, and it's only the first defeat of the season for them, so there's no panic stations in any form. But for Rossvale, that's a huge result because that takes them tied with Glenvale and puts them in a position where they're really in the pack for that top 3 promotion spot.
Aye, it's a good result. It's a good result for Rossvale, and they're starting to motor. Big Josh is getting the. He was talking to him last week or something, and he was saying that he's kind of changed it a wee bit and acknowledged he maybe got it wrong at the start of the season, and I think that fair play to him, he's held his horns up with that, and it looks as if they're really hitting form, and the players are really buying into what he's doing down there. So well done to Josh and his players down at Rossvale. It's a great result.
It is. St Peter's beating East Kilbride. That was one of the games I was looking at that I was thinking was going to be a good one. It's one
St
if East
Peter's beat
Kilbride.
East Kilbride.
St Peter's 2-1 to beat them.
Aye.
East Kilbride, if they'd won that, they've got themselves right in the hunt for the top three spot. It's a wee bit of a dent for them. They're only 4 points off a promotion, but that takes St Peter's to top of the league. Top three teams actually. Thorn getting a win 6-2 as well. Top three teams, all the Renfrewshire teams doing well, so that's nice to see for me. A wee apology in my part. I predicted Greenock to have a very poor season, and Keith kind of chinned me after the prediction show. 6-0 win for them at Campbelltown. They're sitting 4 points off a promotion spot. It's been a really good season for them so far. So I think that they're doing quite well just now.
Aye, they're doing very well, and I'm chuffed for Keith because he's a right nice guy, and he obviously had to endure a bit of a right hard season last season with all the things going on at Harmony Row. So it's good for him to be at a club where he seems as if he's getting the support and the progression, and the players are doing the business for him as well. So that's a right good result for them.
It definitely is. Team who have really impressed me this season, Knightswood, we didn't know how they were going to be because first season in
Yep.
a ridiculously young team. I think I seen they had 9 boys 20 and under playing
It's a young
at the
team.
weekend. I mean, that's a great thing. It's quite similar, I suppose, to Coolscythe the last couple of years where they've had a very young team. So it's a great win for them.
Aye.
BSC getting a good win over Eglinton after being behind at the start of the game. One for me as well. Good result for Carluke. They've had a bit of an up and down season, getting a point away to Lugar. But on the flip side, Lugar will be pretty disappointed that they've dropped at the promotion spot after drawing with Carluke 2-2 at home, when a lot of teams have been going and giving Carluke a bit of doing.
There's a lot of teams. It's up and downs with a lot of teams in it because I think like even the likes of Eglinton that started the season really well and dropped half a bit, and you're just seeing that with teams. But Knightswood got a right young side as well, and I think that they've got some right good young talent there, and they'll do all right. But no, listen, it's just that's a good thing about the league this season. It's like a lot of teams are evenly matched, and teams can beat anybody in any given day. So it's a lot more competitive than what it ever has been. You know what I mean? Especially for that division.
Definitely agree. Well, that's us for another week. Appreciate you listening. Like the episode, subscribe to the channel. It genuinely makes a big difference. If there's anything, if you've managed to stay with us this long, if there's anything that we've said or you want to bring up, fire into the comments as well, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as we can.
Yes.
But everybody, enjoy your week, and have a good one.
Aye, everybody take care and catch
See
up with you later. See you
you
next
later.
week.